Hi, so the next video we're going to do is we're going to do some mobility through your hips, and if we have some time we'll also get some mobility through your knees as well. Like generally we get really tight through our hips. Why? Because we're sitting down all day, and you know, we're not really getting the full range of the hips because all we're doing is walking everywhere, and like I said, we're just sitting down. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do a bunch of mobility through our hips, so you can do a 5 to 6 minute workout. Same deal again, like if you can take this on doing this 30 days, it'll improve not only the mobility through your hips, but it also should decrease a lot of pain or that chronic tightness that we can feel, you know, that dull ache we can get through our hips. And that way you can obviously de-stress your body. Alright, so same deal again. We're going to do around 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes. I'll put the timer on. So the first one we're going to do, we're going to just mobilize your hips. So what you'll do is you'll spread your feet about hip width apart, okay? And then you're just going to drop one knee into the middle, okay? And then you're going to drop it to the other side. And I use my breath as a way of being able to increase that mobility too. So believe it or not, every time I exhale, I'm able to get a big stretch. If you want, you can take your feet a little wider if you like. And the idea is just to be able to get as close to the ground as you can. Now, if you cannot, that's okay. Just work within that range of motion that you can. And notice whether one side feels tighter than the other. So when I go to that side, I can feel tighter through my left hip, my right hip not so much. But when I go this way, I feel a little bit tighter or less tight through my right hip than my left. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep going from side to side. And when you start getting better than this, you can come up to this position here. Okay, like I said, if your hands are not on the ground, that's okay too. But work within where you're able right now. It's not about being forced, it's about just working it within the comfort zone that you are, because I believe it's about consistency. It's not about how hard you push yourself right now. Okay, so we're just going to do 2 more, one either side. Okay, so the next one we're going to do, alright, so we're going to cross one leg over, you're going to grab hold of one knee, and then you're just going to lean back into it, okay, and then you're just going to lean forward into it. And then as you lean back, you're going to get a really good stretch through that glute, and also that point stuck the top of your femur into your pelvis. You can feel that into your sacro-iliac joint. So you're just gently pushing it, or pulling it actually, so you're leaning back into it. Okay, and then you'll swap to the other leg. Same deal again, swap that over, grab hold, and then pull it in. Now, if you're not able to pull it all the way in, that's okay too. You might like to just grab it from here, and then lift your chest up, and you'll find that you'll still get that stretch through that glute, through the bum, and also through that hip joint. Okay, so just a couple more. Great, one more. Great. All right, so the next one we're going to do is we're going to get into a lunge position. Okay, now I'll go front on first, just so that way you can see the placement of my foot. Now I'm placing the foot in line with my hip, and the idea is I'm going to take it out each time, so that way I get more stretch through this hip joint and also through the other one. So you go forward, you tuck your pelvis underneath, you can reach your arm up of the leg that's trailing, and then come back down again. Take a little wider, you come up and reach over, and then same deal again. A little wider, and you'll notice there'll be a slight pull from the front, and then it'll go towards the groin. So change the other side, like I said, straight on. You go, reach over, take a little wider, Good, one more. Now I'm going to go sideways. I'm going to do it twice, just so that way, because I find the hip flexor is super tight. Yep, take a little wider with a foot. Okay. Okay. The other side again. Reach it over. A little wider. Right, a little wider again. one more. Great. Okay, so they're the ones that you want to do through your hips. Okay, so that gets a really good one. You can even do a groin one too. So the next one you can do is take your knees nice and wide. Okay, you put a little curve in the lower back, and then you just gently push back towards the fence, and then you drop forward as you're dropping the pelvis down towards the ground. You push back towards your heels, and then you lean forward into it. So if I show you sideways on, you've got that little curve in your lower back, you gently push back, and then you lean forward. And like I said, you're getting the stretching through that groin. So take your knees out as wide as you can, and then lean forward. Now, one thing that I want to mention is less is more. So it doesn't have to be forced. Okay, it's just within the range of motion that you feel comfortable. That way you can, just improve that. One more. Okay, so that's your groin. Now, the next one we're going to do, okay, we're going to do your knees, okay, and the next one, knees, is just really simple. All you're doing is just leaning onto your knees through there. You can put your hands behind your back, but if that feels super tight already, just stay in this position. The whole idea is to get that mobility through your knees there, and then all you're doing here, and you can lift up, and you'll get a really good stretch, not only through the top of your hip flexor and through your quad, but also the bottom of your quad as well, and then come forward. Now, if you feel that you can't bring your knees together, you might like to prop it up. I'm going to use this foam roller just to prop it up a little bit, and then I lean back into it again. So that way there's less pressure on the knees. But the idea is to be able to get that range of motion as much as you can, but with no pain. Okay. So like I said, use props. You might even like to put hands, onto a little step or something like that, and then you lean back. Lift up and do your breathing again. So you exhale, inhale forward, exhale back, inhale forward, exhale back. Good, let's go for one more. And this is also really good for the mobility through your ankles as well, but I'll say that for another one. All right, so that's 6 minutes, around 6 minutes. So if you get really tight through your hips, I challenge you to do that for 30 days and notice how much more mobility you get through them, but also the decrease of that ache and if you do have sharp pain, then that should also ease it as well. So best of luck, and we'll see you next time.